Hi, Jackie here. I'm the manager of therapeutic programming at AFA, and it is my pleasure to introduce Margalit Cutler, our arts educator. She will be presenting a wonderful program called Blossoming Bouquets. This is a part of our spring art series, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, I'm Margalit, and today we're going to be making paper flowers. So even if you're not leaving the house right now, we're all a little cooped up, you can still bring some springtime beauty into the home and some crafting. So I'm gonna show you a few different techniques, but feel free to mix it up, see what works for you. This is just a starting point. So you can experiment and see what you like to do for yourself. What you're going to need is some pipe cleaners, maybe some green ones for the stem, some colored construction paper, and some colored tissue paper, some scissors, and a hole punch. And if you don't have all these things, you'll see what you do have and you can go from there. So the first method I'm going to show you is with the tissue paper. And it's very simple. Maybe I'll take a piece of blue. Maybe I'll take some pink. Just rip it. And so for the center of the flower, let me start with this pink. And all I'm gonna do is just crumple it. Very simple. Just a nice little crumple. Doesn't look like much yet. But then when I take my blue tissue paper, maybe I rip another piece, and I just kind of crumple around that edge, and I'm holding it at the base here. So there's a little notch of paper that I'm holding on to. And I'm just keep adding and adding. Maybe you want to add another color. I think I'm going to add a little bit more blue. So let me take this. Okay. So now I have this very simple little crumple flower. And if I take one of these pipe cleaners, maybe it'll stick with a dark green. And then I bring it around to this notch that I created. I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaner around that little notch. And maybe like a vine, I'll create a little coil with the pipe cleaner. Like that. And what's nice about these is if you make a bunch of them and then put them on the wall all together, it starts to really fill out a space. So that's one version, a little more abstract, a little more easy with the hands, and it's cute. So moving on to a slightly more complicated technique. You're gonna take a piece of colored construction paper and you're just gonna fold it in half. So you have this creased edge. And what I'm gonna do is cut a petal shape from the creased edge, and I'm gonna leave a little bit open. So what that looks like is I'm gonna go like that and like that. I'll make one more and like that. So now I have these little double petal flaps. They kind of look like mustaches. We're not gonna do that. And so now I'm gonna take my hole punch and punch a hole right in the center of that mustache shape. And I made these two yellow ones before. I'm gonna hole punch those. So now what we're gonna do is line up all the holes like this together. Okay, so now all the holes are stacked on top of each other. And now I'm gonna take another one of my pipe cleaners. What do we think? Maybe purple, because you know, stems are green, but this is art, so we can do whatever we want. It doesn't have to be realistic. And I'm just gonna thread that pipe cleaner through the hole. And if you have, you know, some old jewelry at home and you wanna put a bead on top, that could also be cute. So once again, feel free to have fun and work with what you have. And here we have the beginning of a flower. Oops. Let me get it all set up. And then at the end, if you wanna and now we have a flower. If you wanted to add maybe a leaf at the base. Something like that. You could do that. Another thing you can do if you want to elevate it a little bit is just pinch the tip of the petals. So there's a little bit more of a 3D aspect to it. And we're just gonna go around, pinch that, pinch that, pinch this tip, pinch this tip, and pinch this. Okay, and of course, feel free to add more petals. If you have paint at home and you want to paint these petals, that's fine. This is just a starting point for you to do whatever is fun. Because when I've done these classes in the past, every single student has a different method and a different way that works for them, and they figure out something that wouldn't occur to me. So just play with it. This is a starting point. I'm going to show you one more technique that's a little more three-dimensional. And let's use this paper maybe. So once again, I'm going to make a petal shape. Maybe I'll make them big this time. And as you can see, I'm not a perfectionist. These petals are not exactly the same. If you're a little more particular, you want them to be exactly the same, go for it. I'm just, you know, nature isn't identical, it's not perfect, so I'm just going with this. Okay, and so now what I'm gonna do is at the base of the petal, I'm going to cut a slit. And then what I'm gonna do is just have those two bases kiss, like that. And then I'm gonna take my hole puncher and make a little hole through, got it, okay, through those two bottom pieces, make them kiss, hole punch. And this paper is kind of strong, so if you want to do it, you know, one side at a time, you can do that. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gather all my petals, making sure the holes are all lined up. put them together like this. Oops. And then I'm gonna take another pipe cleaner. Maybe take an orange one. And maybe it's easier if I do it one at a time. So I'm gonna start with just threading it through the holes of that petal. Go to the next petal, thread it through those holes. This petal, thread it through. This petal, thread it through. And now I have all my petals set up, and I'm just gonna use my pipe cleaner to pinch them all together, like this. Okay, so now this is another starting point. So maybe you wanna add some leaves coming out of here. Maybe you want to color inside. Maybe you want to add some tissue paper to this. If I can get a piece, use this one. Maybe you want to, put this at the center and have more coming down. Whatever you want to do. So yes, here we have 3 flower options that you could play with. Maybe you'll find a technique different from these 3 that works for you. Whatever you want to do, it's just a fun way to kind of brighten up the surroundings, rip, cut, do whatever you want. So yeah, I hope you make some beautiful flowers. Thanks so much.